Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, the mighty Houston Texans. 2-2, 1-1 on the road at the Atlanta Falcons. 2-2, 2-0 at home. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get over to the line history here for this one. We'll start with the total. Pinnacle's moved it to 41. It came out and it moved to 42. I guess it did take about 15 hours. So it came out, came out on Sunday, 8:02 p.m. 11:15 a.m. the next day moves to 42. Then it comes back to 41. So that's the situation we're in. So we still had an 8-cent move to the over from this opening line. Let's take a look at the spread here for this one. We're sitting at 1 at Pinnacle. It's not a real 1 because the -1 for Atlanta is -119. It did open up -2.5 though at a pick'em. So there certainly has been a move, a real move towards the Houston Texans, who are riding very high and feeling very good about themselves. Let's get over to the cash flow for this one and see what we're dealing with. We have 43% of the tickets, 58% of cash on the under. And from a spread perspective, you have 69% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on the Texans. Again, the Texans coming off the 36 victory and feeling very good about themselves. In this scenario, I find it a little different than other teams because they've only known losing. And then D'Amico Ryan has come over there and changed the game, changed the feeling, changed what it means to be a Texans fan and to be a Houston Texan. So I do think this is a little different. Texans coming off the very impressive 36 victory at home over the Steelers. They outgained the Steelers 451 to 225. CJ Stroud, 16-30 for 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's the second most yards by a rookie through his first 4 games in NFL history. 1,212 yards, second only to Cam Newton in 2011, 1,386. Second 300-yard passing game, 6 touchdown passes. He set an NFL record with 151 pass attempts without an interception. A rookie record. Set an NFL rookie record, 151 pass attempts without an interception. The first rookie since the merger with 250 yards, 2 TDs, and no interceptions in 3 straight games. This kid is for real. The offensive line has done a great job protecting him. TJ Watt came in with 6 sacks under his belt. But nobody could get to Stroud. Nobody. And they've been protecting him without Laramie Tunsil, who's missed his 3rd straight game with a knee injury. Now, Kendrick Green hurt his knee in the 4th quarter. Is Tunsil going to come back? Is a huge, huge question mark right now. Nico Collins caught 7 passes for 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Damian Pierce ran 24 times for 81 yards. He also caught a 27-yard pass. D'Amico and Matt Burke have done a hell of a job with this defense. Held the Steelers to 12 first downs, 0-2 in the red zone. Jonathan Greener was amazing. 5 tackles, 3 for a loss, 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. Steven Nelson had a pick. The Falcons come back from the UK with a lot of question marks. Their offense looked horrible in that 23-7 loss at Wembley. They didn't get a first down until early in the 2nd quarter. Ritter was terrible, 19-31 for 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, also lost a fumble. Jonnu Smith led receivers with 6 catches for 95 yards. And here we go again. Drake London and Kyle Pitts doing nothing. Drake London, again, doing nothing. He's not pleased. They combined Drake London and Kyle Pitts for 5 catches for 49 yards. London did have a TD. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries for 105 yards, caught 5 for 32. He's a monster. The defense tried to keep the Falcons in it. The Jags only had 1 trip in the Falcons' red zone, and they were put there because of a Ritter interception. The Falcons held their ground and stopped the Jags on 4th and short. They finished with 2 sacks and 7 quarterback hits, but their DB, D. Alfred's in concussion protocol, and we've seen these guys in concussion protocol not get back the following week. Take it away, Troy. The floor is yours, Texans, Falcons.
When I first started looking at this game, I knew I wanted the Falcons, and I wanted them pretty bad. I was trying to plan out how this line would move, and sure enough, I got what I wanted. I wanted the 1.5. I know it's 1 at some books. At most books now, most of the public books, they're all at 2.5, but they all did touch 1.5 at a certain point. You know, the loss to the Jags, I think, in London, it was a bit misleading. The final score even said that it was a bit misleading. And Ritter, even though I said multiple times, he's probably the worst quarterback in the NFL. And I wish Heineke was behind center. There's no doubt about that. But the biggest thing about this game to me is that the Texans grade out as the 32nd run defense in the NFL. And they grade out on multiple different, rating systems as bad against the run. I think that the Falcons at home, where Desmond Ridder is way more comfortable, visibly more comfortable than he is on the road. I think he's undefeated at home too. And I think most times he's a dog, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe he has only 4 or 5 games at home, but still, nonetheless, undefeated at home. Texans are going to struggle to defend the run in this game. That's how I see this game happening now. Is it easy fading the Texans after what you've seen? Absolutely not. CJ Stroud has been surgical at quarterback. He commands the offense. He executes the game plan, drives the ball downfield. 23 passes of 10-plus yards, 11 passes of 20-plus yards last week. That's pretty impressive for a rookie QB versus that pass rush of the Steelers. No doubt about it. But Stroud does lead the NFL in poor pass rate, which came as a huge surprise to me that he hasn't thrown a pick, but he leads the NFL in poor pass rate. So I tried to scrape it a little bit. And no matter how you look at it, if you want to take out all the bullshit where he throws the ball out of bounds, he spikes the ball sometime during the game, take all that out, the highest poor pass rate in the NFL. I think eventually, despite how highly I think of this kid, and I've been speaking how highly I think about him, despite all that, one of these games he's going to throw 2-3 picks. And what's better than the Falcons pissed off, coming back home off a few losses in a row, ability to go ground and pound, got the tandem of Algier and Bijan Robinson behind one of the best run-blocking offensive lines in the league. And, the Texans, their strong suit is their secondary, their coverage. They forced the lowest day dot, so the lowest targets, average yards of target, they forced the lowest amount. I mean, that's perfect for Desmond Ridder. That's where Desmond Ridder likes to eat. And I don't think they're going to be able to defend the run. So, I think that this line should be more along the lines of Falcons -3. So I'm on the Falcons. I already took it. I tweeted it out. And I think that this number is going to move back towards the 3 when it's all said and done.
What was the number that you got?
I got -1.5 at -112.
Wow, that's a wildly interesting.
As soon as I started to see that buyback, I grabbed it immediately. It was 1, then it was 1.5, and then it started to juice, and I just grabbed it. I know Pinnacle's still hanging the 1, but like you said, it's more of like a 1.5, 2.
With the Atlanta Falcons going to be moving the ball through the ground, on the ground, heavily in this game, and the Texans secondary strong, did it lean you towards thinking about an under?
Absolutely. It definitely had me thinking about the under, but I just had that. I just told my boy, the kid, that you go broke following your gut. I mean, he knows how I feel about following your gut, but my gut tells me that there could be some turnovers in this game, and you don't want to be on the side of some bad turnovers that lead to quick scores. But the under is definitely is grabbing my attention, especially with the market right now. It's sitting under that 42.5. You got the sharp money on the under, public all over the over.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking perfect, right? I'll have to consider that heavily.
I'm going to be thinking heavily about this under. This is not another bet that I don't feel comfortable moving on this evening, but the under is in close to my wheelhouse here. Then we have Troy moving on the Falcons -1.5 at -112. We move on.